We're here. We made it. We're starting podcast number 9, Barrel Rollers podcast number 9. With me today, we have Wolby3591, as
Hello,
always.
everybody. Hello.
A returning special, Casual Kev TV.
Yo, yo, guys, what's happening?
And for the very first time, the shit runner himself, Plow13.
How's it going?
What a pleasure it is to have Plow here today. I say it in my streams often enough. I try to accredit Plow for the influence he has had, and even if he doesn't know it, even if a lot of other people don't know it, but Plow has had a remarkable impact and influence on the barrel rollers. So it'll be great to be diving into that. But first, we must follow our traditions. When somebody's new to a podcast, Plow, you have a distinct, maybe shared with at least one other person I can think of, but you have an interesting background to your gamer tag. It's not what I thought it was, but
I'm curious what you think I thought it was then.
I'll share afterwards.
Yeah, so the gamer tag Plow13, I've had it for everything, and I've been lucky to get that pretty much on any platform.
You get the 13.
Or yeah, I get
Yeah,
the 13
nice.
with anything because there's not too many other plows out there. And when I first created, I've been playing on PlayStation, Xbox for as long as I can remember. I've had them all the time, and my last name's Plowman, so I'm super original. Plowman, and then one of my hockey numbers was 13, so Plow 13 has just stuck with me, and it's been Plow 13 everywhere. And like I said, because it's not popular to be Plow, I usually have the luxury of getting that everywhere. I
don't know, It's man. Awesome.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it's cool. I think
Yeah.
it's a great use of your your natural
Short, sweet,
what was given
and
to
it
you.
gets to the point, right? Short, sweet, and it gets to the point.
Though
Wow.
I actually do know somebody, and some of you might know of this person whose real last name is Dickman. So he wasn't so fortunate. Yeah. You've leaned into it,
Man.
yeah, but that's something to be wary of. But yeah, so that's awesome. Like, particularly getting the with that number, with a 13. Like, a lot of people have to tack on, 1, 2, 3, 4 extra numbers behind their name sometimes to get the name that they want.
Wolby.
Yeah. Primary example right here. Yep. Multiple peckings trying to come up with wolf. God.
So it's short, sweet, simple. I love it. What might not be a short, sweet, and simple retelling is your background on Twitch, because from what I heard, you were what was the statistic? You were in the top first how many thousand people to sign up for a Twitch account? 5,000?
Yeah, it's either within the first 5,000 or it's somewhere close to that.
And that
so
was predecessor of Twitch, right?
Of Twitch, actually, yeah. So it used to be called Justin TV, and I remember I was in college at the time, and I've been playing video games all the time, and I actually heard of. I was on a site called Fark.com. It was like the original Reddit.
Yeah, I recall
and-
that site. Yeah,
I seen this website come up where people could broadcast their screens and see a couple gameplay. And I thought, hey, this was cool. I was really into like I said, the multiplayer scene of Ghost Recon at the time.
Ghost Recon.
I was real big
What,
Ghost Recon.
The original Ghost Recon, or
original Ghost Recon.
Wow.
Yeah. So I hopped on there and I seen a couple people playing it, so I signed up for an account on JTV and I watched here and there, and most of it wasn't actually gaming at that point. A lot of it was just chatting on there, and
Right.
there wasn't many people at all. You maybe get 100 people on the site. That's it, streaming. It was very far few in between, and I kind of took a little bit of interest in there, and I didn't stream or anything like that, and I only lurked. I never talked. And I would have stuff up in the background, and after I finished college, I didn't really watch the JTV anymore. So when it went from JTV to Twitch, I wasn't on all the time.
Right.
I wasn't looking. At that point, I had a job, and my spare time, I was doing other stuff, playing video games. I just wasn't always at my computer. So yeah, I've been on Twitch literally since the inception, pretty much. And like I said, one of the very first few names. Could probably sell on eBay, make a nice money with that. But yeah, like I said, I've throughout the years I've still been decently active on it. But within the past, I want to say 3 years, I've really come back to it, and I've watched a lot of it. I'm more engaged with it, and I would say probably about 5 years ago actually is when I started kind of chatting with it. And the reason we came back to that about 5 years ago is my IRL buddies. We thought it would have been a cool way to. We were playing games, and I'm like, oh, how did you do that, or what did you do that in this game? And we originally set up the stream so I could see what K Smith was doing,
right?
Or I could see what my other buddy Adam was doing. I wasn't out there streaming to the world. I'm not trying to. It was literally just to see what they were seeing on their screens. It was kind of like a cheat sheet. Instead of them explaining, hey, this is what I'm looking at, I would literally look over and say, okay, I see what you got. Let's do this.
Yeah, nice. Can I ask what game that kicked that off?
I don't even remember. I don't remember what game we were playing. I really think it was Grand Theft Auto.
Huh.
Yes, it was Grand Theft Auto, because if any of you've ever played Grand Theft Auto, it's a nightmare to find people in the city. So like, sometimes you look and say, okay, I know where this building's at, or I can looking over and see. I'm pretty sure it was Grand Theft Auto when we started doing that.
Cool. And so that got you, I guess, that K Smith and your other friend were streaming that to Twitch. When did you start?
So I've only been streaming to Twitch. I'm actually coming up on 2 years in about 2 months or so.
What?
I've only been, I've not been streaming that long at all.
So you started just before we all started?
Exactly.
Yeah. I literally started, probably
Wow.
a few months before all you guys.
Okay.
That's it.
Well,
Nice.
you seem to be the inventor of streaming on Twitch, I thought.
Right. When my first experiences with streaming, you were there, and I was like, why is this guy with like several hundred followers coming in here and he's like encouraging me? Yeah.
So
you were just a rookie too.
Yeah. I had a little bit of luck going forward though. So going into my first streaming days was, like I said, I kind of streamed here and there just to, like I said, my IRL buddies, just to see what we were doing. And about 2 years ago, I was actually following a guy named Spiros. He played PUBG quite a bit, and he was a very small streamer at the time when I followed him. Had maybe 6-7 viewers in his chat most times when I started following him, and I watched him grow, exponentially, and I kind of seen what he did, and then he ended up taking off, and now he's averaging 900 to 1,000 viewers every stream, so I kind of seen what it was like to go from, in his case anyway, what it was like to go from a couple viewers up to the big leagues of Twitch, and I thought, hey, that'd be kind of fun, maybe I should try streaming, and it was also encouraged by him as well and a couple other people in that community because, I'm sure if any of you have talked to me, I always like to play games on people. I like to joke around. And, I'm not shy about doing much. They said you'd probably have a good personality for it, and I said, I'll try it. And I started streaming literally just directly off my Xbox, no webcam, nothing, just pure gameplay and chat. And after like 2 months of that, I kind of got the bug, and I was like, I like doing this. This is a lot of fun. It's bringing a lot of different interaction. It's bringing a different element to my video games. And at that point, that's when I started following you guys, because like I said, I was getting in the Dirt Rally at that point as well, and that's when I really started, getting the bug buying streaming gear and. Upping the quality of the stream.
It is a money pit. It is a black hole of a bug.
It's a super money pit. But the thing I always tell people is you don't have to do any of this stuff.
No.
Yeah.
You literally.
It's accessible to anybody with a console. It's a button click away, and you're immediately live. Yep.
Yeah.
So this is interesting for me because, how thinking about your background, what I know of it, now that you're telling me that you started off, getting into Justin TV because of Ghost Recon, for me, that really is telling about why you love PUBG so much. I played that original Ghost Recon, and it was remarkable in its time. The big open maps and the long periods of time. You're just trying to figure out where the hell anybody is. That feeling is something else. But in terms of the rally, right? I know you have a background like going to real life rallycross events and the like. But take us through how that started. Where was your first sort of where did that spark of interest in car games in general start off, and how did you end up in Dirt Rally and buying a wheel to because once you buy a wheel, that's an investment. That's you're already saying, all right, I want to step this up.
Yeah. So the first car game that I remember being super interested in was Need for Speed Underground.
What year is that?
Back in the early 2000s.
Early 2000s, okay.
Yeah. It was the same year that kind of Fast and Furious movies took off. And that whole like underground car scene, I thought it was the coolest thing, like, seeing the underglow, flames shoot out the back, bright colored cars. It was cool. And I've enjoyed racing games before, but I never played like the Gran Turismo on PlayStation, stuff like that. I didn't really like the sim aspect of any of those games. I wanted to get on and just whip around cars and just have fun with it. And I played a lot of that game, the Need for Speed. I believe it was Underground. That and Midnight Club was one of the other ones that I played a lot back in the day.
Oh my! I love Midnight Club.
One.
I still wish they'd come out
game.
with some more of those, man. Damn it!
Fantastic games. But once I started getting into those, I started doing a little, poking and prodding. Like I would now notice. I've always liked when I thought of a cool car before I started playing those games. I always thought of like Lamborghinis or like Porsches, stuff like that, the super high end stuff. But playing those games gave me an appreciation for the dude that souped up his Camry over there and put like canards on it or something like that to try to make it look cool, you know. It gave me an appreciation for a lot of different cars, and from there, I just started getting more into different type of aspects of cars. Like I said, I've never really owned a cool car up until recently. I've always just driven, your run-of-the-mill cars, but just getting into that like tuner culture, like following those things, and because I liked that driving style of just like kind of whipping stuff around and kind of just reckless type of abandoned driving, I stumbled on to rally and just seemed
Reckless
like
abandoned
Interesting.
driving.
that's my driving style. And
like
it
a
really
rally
fascinated
video
me.
or a game first? Like,
Video, actually,
Video.
video. Yeah, I found a rally video. It was a Colin McRae, just like highlight deal, and I was like, this is really cool. Like,
Colin McRae, hey?
just seeing these guys just go flat out and pretty much not. I mean, knowing the course, I didn't know what pace notes were at the time, but like, just going so fast down these everyday roads that I drive, because
Yes.
everything that I've kind of driven in games where it's been Nuremberg or something like that, I've never driven that. I've never been on any of these tracks, but I see these everyday roads and these guys going like hell down there. I thought that was the coolest thing, and that led me down to start playing just more racing games in general. And I never really got into any of the early dirts.
Right.
I played the first dirt rally, maybe like 10 stages, and I was like, this sucks. I can't do it. I was like, this is way too hard for me. Like I said, I didn't have that appreciation for the sim aspect at that time. Like I
Gotcha.
said, I really just wanted to pick it up and just slide around some corners, just do my own thing. And it was Dirt 3 that I started in that I started liking Dirt. Dirt 3 was for me. It was more of an easier
Yeah.
dirt rally for
Accessible.
me. Yeah,
More
And-
tailored for controller play, obviously. Yep.
Exactly, yes. And then, like I said, at that point, yeah, I was just controller. And then that's where I started learning a lot about rally, especially more of the intricate pace notes and stuff like that. Like I said, I knew the basics, but before that game, I didn't know what, open, don't cut. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, common sense, but if I tell a random person that they don't know that.
Yes.
But,
yes, that's true.
Then from there, I moved on, and Dirt 4 I played the hell out of. I
Dirt
loved
4.
Dirt 4. And then when Dirt Rally 2.0 came out, I was like, man, I love Dirt 4 so much that, I'll try it. And I knew going into it that it was going to be more like the original
The first
Dirt
Dirt
Rally.
Rally, yeah.
Yeah.
And at this point, like I said, I had more of a appreciation for some sim type games. And the first couple months of me playing Dirt Rally 2.0, I didn't do well. Like I said, I was on controller, but I was having a blast doing it. It was fun trying to get around these corners, and I'd wreck my car and got to do it again. And it was just kind of like a little motivation between like me and Kane Smith. We got the game at the same time. He played a lot of Dirt 4 with me
Nice.
as well. and-
Rivalry's awesome.
yeah, and that's what it was. What got me really going. I was like, oh man, you just beat me by a second that one. I'm gonna get better doing this. And at that point, yeah, I was still playing. I played on controller in Dirt Rally 2.0 for the first 5 months of the game. I want to say somewhere around there. And that's actually when I started following a lot of you guys.
So,
And
wait, you did you have the wheel already, or did you get the real? Whoa!
no,
I didn't-
yeah,
I
Dirt
didn't
Rally
recall
2.0 inspired me to get a wheel. Yeah, yeah. I played. Yeah, I was
Did you-
controller
Did you ever
for
stream
the first couple months.
your dirt when you Dirt Rally 2 on your controller?
On
Or
controller?
did you not
Yes.
until you got wheel?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't remember that. I must not have known you then.
Yeah, my first couple streams was, and in my streams, yeah, my first couple streams were just a straight mix between PUBG and Dirt Rally. I would do a lot of PUBG, and then, I was playing a lot of Dirt Rally then too, and I was like, you guys got to check this game out, because in PUBG, everybody makes me drive, because, I mean, don't
You're the
laugh at
pro.
me, guys, but I'm one of the better drivers there.
I've seen you try.
This is gonna be fine! I got this. I'm perfect. Pro driver. Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
There's a
Really
method to
good.
the madness there.
Really good.
I'm gonna have to insert one of those clips for sure at that point, so everybody can see what why I'm laughing.
But everybody asks why, how are you sliding around in PUBG? What are you doing different? And I was like, I really like these racing games. They're called Rally. And they're like, to the normal person, not many people know what Rally is. That's why I was like, what? I'm already starting to stream a little bit of PUBG. I'll do a little bit of Dirt Rally as well. I'll show you guys. So like I said, when I was started streaming Dirt Rally, I had no face cam, nothing. It was just straight off the Xbox. And that's, like I said, when I started following quite a few of you guys, because I like that aspect of, hey, I'm comparing times with people. And I just want to see how other people did on the game too,
Sure.
And then I really got the bug, and I was like, you know what? Let's get a wheel. I feel like that'd be really cool, And I did my research, and I was like, and I almost made the mistake of buying, like, there was like an $80 wheel, no force feedback, because I thought it'd be cool just to have a wheel.
Oh, a Thrustmaster, like a T80 or something like that?
T80, probably the T80.
Yeah, I think it was like a Ferrari T80 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, the
It's just a basic
458
wheel.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think that's what it is, the Ferrari 458.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, that'd be really cool just to have a wheel. And then I'm one of the people, before I buy something, somewhat substantial, I do a lot of research on it.
Hell yeah.
And everything I read was just like, don't do this.
Don't do it.
this. And, yeah. And I didn't even know what force feedback was at that point. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I didn't know that was a thing in wheels. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll have to budget a little bit. And I bought the Thrustmaster TMX Pro. And I figured that was like, what I read was, everybody said, hey, if you're not sure about sim racing and you want to know, just get into it,
100%.
this is a great wheel to start out with.
Yep.
And I've been happy with it ever since. But yes, I learned to drive with wheel on Dirt Rally too.
I would have
Wow,
loved to
man.
have seen you stream the first time you used that wheel and get the impression of your experience with the force feedback.
So I know the VOD's not out there anymore.
Right, yeah.
But the very first time I got the wheel, I was so excited. I hooked it up, and I remember I couldn't even get like halfway through a stage. I was like, this sucks. I don't want to play with the wheel. It is terrible. I'm so much better with the controller. I don't want to do this. And like, I remember just halfway through the stream, I was like, okay, guys, I'm done. Bye. I was like maybe 40 minutes in, and I was just not having fun because I was so bad.
Very, very typical experience coming from controller to wheel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't stream Dirt for almost 2 weeks, but I played every day. And off stream, I was like, I want to get this down.
Hell yeah,
I started YouTubing videos of like, wheel settings. And then, like I said, I started looking at Twitch, asking people their wheel settings are the same wheel. And I believe that's how I found Casual Kev, because he was one of the only few ones on there. And, there's not too many people in Dirt all the time. And I found someone on there that, I started asking questions, and, I don't know, I just kind of hit it off. I was like, oh, this guy's cool. I'll give him a follow. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, I'm like, hey, did you do your daily today? Like,
Yeah,
I
right.
beat you by 4 seconds. Let's do something.
You used to kick my ass, man. You used to kick my ass.
I
That's
remember
when I used to keep up.
remember those like the earliest days, right? Like you guys were the Xbox guys,
Yeah.
right? I,
Me and
I,
Plow,
I
the Xbox guys.
hell yeah.
Yep.
And Kev, like I want to hear this as well because you know Plow was one of your early sort of guys on like with Dirt Rally, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Let's hear a Kev perspective on meeting Plow and how that went down.
Well, you guys, you know my background, right? I started the streaming. I met like Dr. DNA and a couple other guys, right? And I was like, I'm gonna try playing this game. And I also bought the TMX. I went straight to the TMX, and I was streaming, one or two viewers, and one of them is myself, And next thing I know, this guy named Plow shows up, and he's just chatting with me and encouraging me, And then he's giving me tips on things with the stream and. Like, this guy knows what he's talking about. He follows me, and Case Smith follows me, and Big Red Cliffy follows me. I'm like, okay, these guys are pretty awesome. So, after I was done, I went and I looked at who this Plow guy was, and I'm like, this dude's got like 300 or 400 followers. What is this? What is he hanging out with me for? But either way, that was my very first introduction to Plow, and ever since we've been buddies. And to this day, he still calls me up every once in a while and says, hey, I figured out how to do something I think it'd be perfect for your stream. He's always looking out. He's looking out for everybody. That's Plow.
So Plow for me, in the early days, he was one of the guys who was like who showed me what Twitch communities sort of are like, by going over to Plow's stream and seeing, K Smith and Project Patter and Cliffy and Brent Bryson, and there's a lot of other guys there. I saw the awesome PUBG community they had. I saw the way they interacted, the way they hung out in each other's streams and supported each other. And for me, I'm like, well, any community that I'm responsible for and working on, this is the baseline. This is the model that needs to follow. So there was that really heavily influenced me right at the start. But other than that, there are so many things. Like I think myself and so many other rollers have benefited from what we learned from Plow in the early days. Like Plow, as you said, Kev, he made all these suggestions. He said, "Oh, you can do this, you can do that." Like the Streamlabs chatbot that we are so reliant on. That we have been so reliant on, that is not immediately obvious. Like I think Streamlabs pushed their CloudBot more. Right. It's not as easy to find the desktop client chatbot. But we saw on Plow's stream, all of originally all of the sound effects, right? And there was this huge, how do you do that? How do you do that? And Plow, I remember Plow very early on telling me of his Streamlabs chatbot. It took me weeks and weeks and weeks to come around and get it done.
My first experience with Plow, I'm going to be honest here. I hung around for about 2 minutes and left. I'm like, he's playing PUBG. I don't like PUBG. And I had just entered the Discord, Barrel Rollers Discord, and I'm beginning to see what Kev is doing, what Rain is doing, and you guys are hanging out with Plow. And I'm like, he's a PUBG player. I'm not interested in PUBG. So, after about a week, I started hanging in Plow's channel, the Bean Boozle. That right there. That is what hooked me. I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy is so lovable. His character, I don't care whether or not I like PUBG, his gameplay. Watching Plow do the Bean Boozle, and that incented me to follow him and sub to him because I wanted to see the Bean Boozle for me. And so my entry to Plow was just that exactly: observing what he does, observing what Kev does, what Rain does, what everybody else was doing, and slowly build from that. Just learn and ask questions when you need to. Plow, fantastic, dude.
Plow was also one of a like you were doing Bean Boozle for anytime somebody subbed to you, right, Plow? That's
Yeah.
that's how it went. But I also recall that possibly due to your veterancy, you know, the age of your account, you were, I think, the first person I knew who got the channel points enabled on your channel. You had it in early access, and none of us had it at that time. And again, you know, because of what Plow did with his channel points, I think that carried over into you know, the Nerf runs that are so popular.
Very influential in how a lot of us develop our streams. Certainly, Plow has been. Yeah.
These days, yeah. Yeah.
So a little bit of background with that stuff is, so like I said, I mean, I told you guys about 2 years ago I started streaming, but I feel like I said, I had a little bit of luck starting out. Like I said, I followed that Spiros guy. I was in his community, and that's where a lot of like Brent Bryson started out with it, and Project Pata. That's how I get to know those guys, and those guys also encouraged me to maybe stream a little bit more. But when I started streaming, it was the same time Spiros was taking off, and he really helped in his early days. He would give me my first 3 or 4 days of streaming. He gave me a huge rage of like 400 people.
Wow.
So imagine your like third kind of stream having,
Shits.
you know, 400 people in your chat, and I was just like, and at this point I was reading chat off my phone, you know, so like trying to keep up with that was horrendous. But by doing that helped me reach affiliate literally within the first week of streaming. So I was super pumped about that. So that gave me a little bit of motivation.
Yeah.
And then like I said, I started going down that road of getting stream gear, getting a camera, getting a laptop for, you know, chat and stuff like that. But where I feel like I've really been like kind of advantageous or taking off is how you guys saying, like, you guys, you know, see a lot of stuff I do. I'm always trying to do something new on my stream.
Yes.
It's never, you know, if you don't come to my stream for a month and you come back, there's
shit's
probably
different.
something new that I'm trying. Yeah. Just always trying something fun to be interactive, creative. You know, whether it's starting, you know, comparing times with Casual Kev on Xbox, you know, just doing stupid stuff like that, or doing channel point ideas, or, you know, the latest thing that I've kind of got into is that Lorien board.
Yep.
Yes.
You know, I've been
Lorien.
obsessed with that, just doing little things like that. Bean Boozle, just,
Flappy gums.
you know, Flappy Gums. Yes, people love that. You know, it's, you know, I've kind of seen with my experiences on Twitch, going all the way back to JTV, kind of what smaller streamers did or what they do and what the big guys do,
Yeah.
and kind of maybe incorporating that into my own stream. So I mean, that's definitely helped me grow, and I've always been the thought process is, you know, I don't like that follow for follow stuff, and
Yep.
or, you know, hey, let's all join a community so we can all follow each
Exactly.
other. I don't like that, but the people that generally support me and that you know, I call friends now, I have no problems helping out those people. You know, like I said, it's kind of, you know, like I said, for your real life friends, you would, you know, if they ask for help, you know, building a fence or something like that, I know you guys be over there helping them out,
Yep.
throwing a few nails up.
That is what
You
it's
know,
about.
same thing with, like, you know, that's why I don't mind helping out any of you guys. You know, it's
community.
we're all building
It's
a
awesome.
community here, and and like I said, I wouldn't have my channel today where it's at if it wasn't for you guys either. You know, so it's it's that double-edged sword with that stuff.
That's
you know?
right.
Mutually beneficial all the way across
the,
the
the
board.
rising tide raises all ships, as I've heard. You know, and that is what it's about. It's about, you know, making the genuine connections, making the friendships, you know, and you feel like, you know, this is my friend. Of course, I want to do what I can for my friends.
Yeah, there's no trade secrets in this game of streaming. You need to lift each other up and keep the ideas flowing. Absolutely.
Speaking of the fun things that Plow does, I'm going to try to trigger something real quick and see if it works. Thank you, Plow. Thank you, Plow.
Right there.
I got one as
The
well.
board.
I'm going to try this as well. Bear with me. I'm going to try this.
I should have did my virtual camera so I could show you all the other stuff I do. But yeah, just simple stuff like that little barrel roll thing. As soon as I found that and I made sure it 90% worked on mine, I was like, hey, I sent a DM to Kev. I was like, listen, you got to do this. People would love the shit out of this in your stream. And it was like, I screenshot a lot of stuff. I was like, here, just do this. And while it wasn't 100% correct, we kind of figured it out together. But just simple stuff like that. Like I said,
It's just
something that,
right.
you know, I may not use all the time in my stream, you know, would definitely benefit, you know, casual in that point. I was like, hey, you got to do this type of thing.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And, you know, like you were saying that you're always trying for something new. I have that same type of attitude or same type of thing. Like after every single stream, you're trying to figure out, okay, what worked? What did people like? What can I make better? It's just, it never ends, right?
Mm-hmm. And the same thing with like I seen that something else that's really popular in casuals thing is that Stream Racer. I was like, I wanted to do this in mine, but I don't have enough active people sometimes with, you know, having like a 4 or 5 race. But I was like, you know what, this be perfect for the rally train. And I was like, you got to get this. And every day while I'm lurking over there, I see it going.
Yeah, well, I have to limit it. People love it. I have to put a limit of 5 per stream, or I would spend the whole stream playing that game. It's crazy.
All right, I'm going to try to trigger that thing again.
I'm nervous.
It's a multi-step process, so...
Shit run. No, that was a shit run. Shit run.
That file.
Now that was a shit run.
So...
I think the...
But wait, there's more.
No. To get my mic back is so I had to disable stuff, play that, then re-enable my mic. But I reckon that you know, more people have heard your voice than know you exist as a streamer. I try to give credit when I can, you know, to that voice. I mean, that's originally, you know, Casual Kev TV got you to do this and recorded it, but that sound clip has gone around.
I mean, that was the catchphrase. I mean, it came from Plow, right? But it spread amongst all streams.
Exactly.
Everybody said shit run when they had a bad run, and it would be in every chat.
Yep.
And then I was like, why don't we have a sound effect for this? And that's why I came to him one time when he was live, and I said, Plow, just say shit run for me a few times. So then that was the original recording that Rain Dancer just played. That was the original. I took one of those shit runs and made it the thing, and now it's everywhere. It's awesome.
Yeah, the absolute original recording, which I hadn't heard until you sent it to me, Kev. But yeah, I didn't realize how many different takes there were, because I think out of all of that there was one hit run that was sliced out and It's
Yeah.
been the thing, right?
Yeah.
So how does it feel, Plow, when you might be in someone else's stream and suddenly you hear your voice coming back on a clip?
For a little while, it was a little weird because, as you guys know, I work during the day. I work from home, so I have streams up. You know, I'm lurking in quite a few streams, and you know, I don't mute them obviously, so I want to count as a viewer. And every once in a while, you know, it's not that I'm really paying attention to them. I'll be working, you know, doing my thing on the computer or whatever, and then it's weird when you hear your own voice sometimes. You're like, wait, what? But I love it. It's just funny to see people calling shit runs everywhere, and you know, it's cool to see that in other streams as well.
I love the production value. Everybody's taking and modifying it, but keeping the original shit running there. I absolutely love it.
Isn't it the case that somebody used it as a phone alert or something?
Brothers Chris, that's his text message.
That's his text message.
Yeah.
Oh.
Every time he gets a text message, it says shit run.
God, if only we could trigger that in the background while we had Chris on for a podcast, that'd be brilliant.
Ooh, that would
Just
be-
somehow. Got to work with somebody in the UK.
That's fun.
We need to get in touch with Brothers Jules.
Yeah.
See if we can make that happen.
Yeah. Flooding.
Yeah.
Plow, I want to circle back to the rallycross stuff. So I now I didn't know your background in terms of car racing games or real life. But now hearing that, you know, you started off, you Dirt Rally 1 was like your first rally game, right? So Dirt 3 was
the first
after
one that
Dirt, Dirt 1? Dirt Rally 1?
Dirt Rally 1 was before that.
Right.
But I remember playing on PlayStation the Colin McRae, or
Colin
McRae. Colin McRae. That's a good name for it.
Might as well
That's
let
the
him be his
knockoff
name.
version.
Hell.
sounds like a sandwich. Calling it. I like it.
I remember playing that a few times, and that was before I knew anything about
Right.
pace notes and stuff like that. And that's what led me to those videos. And I
Okay.
it was fun, but I never really picked it up because, like I said, at that point I was still playing that Need for Speed, Midnight Club, stuff like that. But another thing that kind of transitioned into that, like I said, I started watching those rally videos, and then Dirt 3 came along. Another thing that got me into Rallycross was I started watching the show Top Gear, the USA version.
The USA version. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know there was a Top Gear, the one in the UK. I first seen the USA one, and I seen the host Tanner Faust,
Yes.
and I was like, this dude can drive. I didn't know he was a racer, stunt driver, all that stuff. And I started watching a few of those, and I was like, man, this guy's really good. And in one of the episodes they mentioned, you know, hey, and you're one of the races. I was like, oh, he races? And I started looking up videos of him, and I was like, oh, cool, he's Rallycross. I was like, what's all this, you know? And then I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, it's the sliding around that I loved.
Hell yeah.
And you get to bump cars, and it's short track, and it's just chaos, and I like the chaos, and plus it's super beefed up cars, and I was like, this is awesome. This is what I need in my life. And then from there, it was just a downhill. So I started, watching a whole bunch of Rallycross videos. And then I found that there was one that was located in Pittsburgh, and I seen there was a race that Tanner Faust, I was following him on Twitter.
Right.
And he's like, hey, I'm going to be racing in DC
Right.
this weekend, And I was like, that's a, 4-hour drive for me, whatever, 5-hour drive. I was like, let's go. And I went to my first Rallycross race. and I
When was
like,
that?
Oh my God, this is... 2016, 15?
Awesome, man.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And and ever since that first race, I've been, well, up until the recent year, I've been going to 4 or 5 races a year. It's kind of been a pain point with my fiance. I've scheduled our vacations around rallycross races.
Oh shit!
So I would say, hey, race days are Saturday, Sunday. We'll go out a couple of days beforehand. We'll do a little sightseeing in this town, and then Saturday, Sunday we'll spend at the races.
Awesome.
And it's kind of worked out that way.
Dude, that
She
yeah.
must be a real sweet lady to put up with you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, it happens to work out that she's from a car family as well. Her
Right.
father's a car mechanic. He's been in quite a few. Some of his cars he's built been in quite a few magazines and stuff like that. So, like I said, he prefers the older generations of cars, but she has an appreciation for cars too. So she doesn't mind being at the races. She grew up going on racetracks and stuff like that. So
Awesome.
It kind of worked out
Fantastic.
that it was easy to slide in that way.
Nice.
So, was any of this influential in your choice of personal vehicle?
Yes, 100%. So when I first started getting into rally, like I said, the first car that, back in the YouTube days, there wasn't a ton of YouTube videos about rally, but the Subaru WRX always came up, and I fell in love with that car. It was such a cool car. I was like, man, this is just that hood scoop is just so
Yeah, yeah.
iconic to me.
It's very iconic.
I love the way it looked, the sound and all that stuff. And I've always wanted one, but it never. One, I couldn't afford it up until recently. I had little low-paying jobs, and then just within the recent years, I've had adult money.
Yeah.
I guess I finally got everything situated, and yeah, last year it'd actually be almost 2 weeks from now. I've had it for a year, but the 2020 WRX, and it's been fantastic.
I
I
remember
love
the
it.
excitement. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God.
You were talking that for a while. I remember almost since the first time we met, you were talking that I want to get a WRX. I want to get a WRX, and I'm going to get one.
And wasn't there
And it was amazing.
Sorry, Kev.
No, go ahead. It was just amazing that when it finally came true, the excitement. It was just awesome.
Wasn't there like a bit of a process? You went a couple of times to check out the car, and I'm trying to remember exactly how it went down.
Yeah, so I kind of a little bit before we get into that, I've always had bad luck with cars. Every car I've owned has just been a total shit. It's like every car I've driven, they've always made fun of me because something just goes wrong, and it's like catastrophically wrong. Like for example, one of my first cars was Chevy S10. That went faster downhill than it could uphill. It never got any power going. I would literally, sometimes from going home from work, I would go home maybe 10 mile an hour because it had no power. It's like, it was just stupid stuff like that. And then my recent car before this one was a Chevy Cruze that somewhere down there, the coolant started leaking everywhere, and I get no power as well. Same thing. It's just another catastrophic blow up type of deal. Nothing like, you could still drive the car, but it just wasn't fully functional type of deal. And I was starting to look at WRXs, and it just wasn't right at the time. Like I could have bought it like a year prior, but being an adult, it wasn't financially responsible for me to do at that point in time. I had other stuff I had to take care of, and I know I spoke about it a lot with Casual Kev, and I knew you guys too. Hey, I'm looking at this one, and then it finally goes time to kind of buy this car, and I kind of got screwed over by a couple of dealers.
Yeah.
That process is never fun.
No.
One of the dealers tried to sell me stuff that wasn't even optional on the WRX, so I ended up going to another dealer, and then they're selling me this stuff, and it's all this, and what makes it even worse is my mother, used to work for a Honda dealership, so she knows like the ins and outs and kind of the selling process, and we do that. So finally, I go through all of it, and then I'm getting nervous because when I said, "Yep, let's put pen to the paper. I want this car," it was the beginning of when COVID started.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Oh man, this is," I was nervous because I was like, "Did I just buy a car and now I'm going to lose my job and it's going to, I'm finally responsible or not responsible, but able to buy a car and then I'm thinking maybe I'm going to lose my job." And so I waited a couple of months and then finally I realized, hey, I'm probably not going to lose my job here.
Nice.
Let's do it. I'm gonna order this car. We're gonna get it. And I got it. I got my car the same day, the day before lockdown happened in our state.
Wow.
So if I wouldn't have picked it up that day, I would have waited a couple months.
Wow.
It was a blessing in disguise though, because it went lockdown, the highways may have been empty for a little while, and I really got the breaker in kind of nice.
So, let me get this straight. I think that you may have been able to save a little money if you would have went with the manual shift.
Okay. Okay.
We just like we love you. We
had
love you.
such a long lead into that.
Yeah, so that was one of the other issues of getting the WRX is I had the CVT version. I can drive a manual, not proficiently by any means, but where I live, it's a ton of hills. There's like no flat spots, and this is also going to be my daily driver.
Yeah.
So we
just love to harass you, baby. We just love to harass you.
Yeah, no judgment, obviously.
Yeah.
What's more practical for your purpose in life? Absolutely.
Yeah. I honestly, I've had no regrets of getting a CVT.
So-
it's fun as hell. I love it.
Look, I've had, I think I've got about 18 years or so of manual daily driver under my belt, and it was fine when I was in my 20s. Into my 30s was getting a little bit, much.
Yeah.
And fortunately, as the years progressed, even having an H pattern as a daily, the amount of extended peak hour traffic that I had to deal with declined. Right, there would be some, but it wasn't extended, and it's a chore. It's a chore. And it can have physical consequences. My left leg is 1.5 times bigger than my right leg because of all the clutch work. When you're working out at the gym, right? What do they say? If you want to gain size, it's less weight, more reps. What do you think you're doing with a clutch all the time, constantly, over and over and over and over and over? It's
You need to figure out a way to showcase this powerful leg on your streams. We need to see more
TOS.
leg and less foot.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I can absolutely appreciate a daily. You there are so many considerations you need to make for a daily, but it's fun
yeah.
anyway to poke.
Well, one day when this COVID stuff is over, Plow and I were only about an hour and a half apart. I'm in Northeast Ohio. He's right across over in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I do have a WRX as well. We're going to meet up. We're going to get some pics, and we're going to have a lunch one of these days. And I can't wait for that day. It's going to be fun.
Plow even did a 1 or 2 streams from the WRX.
IRL, yep.
Yeah, IRL streams.
Yeah.
They work pretty
I
good.
learned quickly not to put your speed on stream.
No. Well, I don't know how nasty it could be. I mean, if you were popular enough, I have heard, and it depends on the legislation, but I have heard of police going to speak to YouTubers To use the exact terminology, wanting to speak to YouTubers, even when they're showing videos of them driving their car and you cannot see the speedometer. But what you can see are poles, and they know the distance between the poles. And because it's a video with timestamps, distance, time, that's your speed.
Still evidence. Still evidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough, and not to mention the whole Twitch. I think the terms of service say you cannot be distracted driving. It's very vague, so it's up to their own interpretation on if you were distracted while you're driving.
That was a setup and a half to do that. So that was one of my considerations too. Obviously, I don't want to promote, distracted driving by any means. But when I did do those, it was more than just putting my phone up there and doing that.
Yes.
I would have my phone, doing the camera stuff. And then I actually had a tablet that I buckled into the seat next to me so it didn't move. And the tablet would play chat into my ear, which I had one Bluetooth. So like I said, it was never looking down at chat or anything like that, but it was a little bit of a thought process of how to do that safely anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
But doing any of these kind of things, it's risk and reward, I think.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. But if you guys get together, I'm sure, that's content for both of you that many people would want to see.
Would love to see,
without a doubt.
I mean,
Agree.
Everybody wants to see a CVT beat a manual, so yeah.
Come on now, baby. Come on now, baby.
A gauntlet been thrown
Well,
down
This is
there.
5 years newer. I don't know if there's any power enhancements there or not.
That
but
sounds like a challenge.
It sounds like excuses
Excuses.
coming already.
I know. Excuses already. I'm sweating.
If only we could do like one run, with assists off as well.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Turn off the assist, baby.
Ooh, burn.
I just want a picture, man. I just want to shake your hand and get a picture and have a sandwich.
There you
I don't
go.
need to race you.
It might be some sort of channel points challenge or something
Yeah.
There you go.
we could set up. You were one of the first person I knew who was streaming and working from home, like even before COVID, right? Like you already had that set up. So I think it's interesting. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start out with college. I guess it kind of leads into the professional ties. So in college, I graduated with a physics major. I have a Bachelor of Science in Physics with a mathematics minor. Not too many people know that on Twitch. Keep it in mind.
I've called you out on the mathematics, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still terrible with numbers. Unless I have a calculator in front of me, I ain't doing it. But so when I had that as my major when I graduated, one of the things was to get into that field, you have to do pretty much a bunch of interns or like contract jobs, which is terrible for payments. So a lot of the contract jobs I'm finding were, a month here, a month there, and in between those months, it'd be like sometimes 3-4 months worth of nothing. There's no contract work, and you need that experience in order to get the quote unquote entry level into those fields. So in the meantime, when I was trying to do that, I started working at Dick's Sporting Goods. I started out as part-time there. And when I didn't have a contract, I, was obviously working only maybe 10, 15 hours a week at Dick's Sporting Goods. I asked for more hours. And at that time, one of the other people quit there, and they're like, hey, we need a full-time position. So I was like, I don't have anything right now. I was like, I didn't tell Dick's sporting goods this, but I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And then I figured once I would get a contract, I would just say, no, sorry, it's a retail job that can be replaced in a day. It don't matter to them.
Yes.
So I started working there full time, and the contracts were, and I started looking, I'm like, well, I'm making less money doing this. Do I take that, leave this full time, and then maybe another month around not have anything? And it was kind of like that risk reward thing, and I was like, eh. And then I fell into the retail trap where I started working there for a while, and that's actually how I met Kay Smith. He was one of the, fellow employees there, and when I met him, I found out he liked Xbox as well. We both had that passion for gaming, so we started, we really hit it off. He became a real good buddy of mine, and I ended up working there for quite a while. And I ended up becoming a manager there, so I was a manager at Dick's Sporting Goods for a long time. And then after, I think it was 6 years of doing that, I had enough of the hours. I couldn't take the hours anymore because it was either working, our scheduled hours were 7 to 5 or noon to 10.
Right.
And it was never just, I'd never left at 5 o'clock and we never left at 10 o'clock. It turned into 7 to 7 all the time, or, noon to midnight, and then I had to be back at 7 in the morning to open up or something like that. And it was getting old doing that. So I started looking for other jobs, and one of our buddies that worked there as well started working at Cigna. And I didn't know anything about insurance or anything like that. And he was like, oh, I don't do anything with insurance. I do stuff with family medical leave and state laws. And he was like, hey, they got an opening. You want to check it out? And I was like, yeah, I'll look into it. And I ended up leaving Dick's Sporting Goods, and I started working for them. And so a funny thing, where I lived at the time versus where my office was, it's only about 12 miles. But there's only one good way of getting there, and it's via the highway. And it took an hour and 30 minutes to get there.
Oh.
At the times I was going there for my work shift. And I was like, whatever, it's fine. I only work Monday through Friday now. I can deal with an extra little bit of drive, no big deal. But after doing that for a couple of months, my girlfriend at the time, she worked even farther away and lived pretty close to me. So we were like, hey, let's get an apartment out here, pretty close to central to where we're working. And as soon as I got the apartment, literally like a couple months later, like, yeah, you guys can work from home now. Thanks. So yeah, I've been working at home for about 5 years at this point.
Wow.
Wow.
So I haven't had on, business attire on in a long time. Hence is why you get the big beard. Couldn't do this I work a corporate job, but,
Yeah.
obviously there's no dress code restrictions or anything like that. So yeah, I've been in work at home life for a few years now. So I was well accustomed to what's going on in the world these days, even before, a lot of you guys had to deal with it.
Fascinating, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be some of the background. And like I said, that's how, my work professional life is, my best buddy, Kay Smith. We don't work together anymore, obviously, but, that passion for gaming we have, it's been every game we play together, whether it be PUBG, Dirt Rally,
NHL.
NHL.
Yeah.
He's good value, Kay Smith, and one of the original rollers as well. There from the start.
I was going to add, I thought of something last night. It was about what's it like to be such a great supporter, but also everybody's biggest troll. But we're kind of beyond some of that now.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
Big deal.
Yeah.
I
No big deal.
I mean the in jokes, I think, have been a huge thing as well. It's added a lot of depth to the group.
Yeah.
I think with that, the biggest thing of being, like I said, my thing is, if I make fun of you, I like you.
Yep.
And as Wolf alluded to earlier in the podcast, a lot of people, I rub them the wrong way, and I realized that off the start, because what you see is what you get with me. You know, I don't sugarcoat a lot of stuff. And a lot of times when people see, you know, me making fun of Wolf or Rain or Casual or if anybody else in the community, they're like, man, this guy's a real asshole. Like, I don't want to be here. And like I said, the first 5 minutes is usually a pretty big turnoff for a lot of people. And I realize that, but like I said, that's just me. I'm not putting on a show
Exactly.
when I stream. I just, you know, this is me. This is how I interact with my friends sometimes. Take it or leave it, you know. And it can be viewed as toxic and hateful, I guess, in a little ways. But like I said, if you hang around a little while, you guys realize that, you know, like I said, if I am making fun of you, it's because I care about you and you're a good friend. And, you know, I developed that relationship with you. You know, I don't treat new people that way. You know, I'm pretty shy around new people, actually. I don't talk much until I get to know the person. Then I'll open up and then I'll start roasting.
So the moral to the story is hang around for 6 minutes.
Yeah, hang around for 6 minutes
Right.
and then
You'll
probably
learn.
leave still.
You
but-
will like him.
I do think you've got it right though, Plow. It's like you got to earn that ability to you've got to earn somebody's trust before you can have your fun with them, right? You know.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like
that's why I do, yeah.
you'll only troll people that you know already trust you, right? Like that's what I do, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love to come up with different ways to do it.
The first,
Yeah.
the first time Plow said, "Oh God, not Wolf again," in the street, I laughed. I mean, it was immediately acceptable.
Exactly.
It's like he's my buddy, so you know, it's like a friend. That's how it is.
Exactly. Actually, there is one more thing that I remember is in that in the early days we did talk a lot about the difference between a time trial and a club event, where time trial you run it, you make one little mistake and you can reset and you can do it again. There's do-overs. And then we're like, well, in a real rally, there's no do-overs. You stuff up, you break something, and you got to wear that. You've got to carry that through to the next service. And we were like, well, even and the thing is, if you look after your car and you just survive, you're going to beat anybody who terminals. And we talked about it a lot, but I think the first time everybody witnessed it to the utmost level was Plow's legendary shit run. Like, I think Plow did the shit run that set the standard. It was
The original shit run.
the original shit run,
Absolutely epic. It
the
was
OG
epic.
shit run.
where
Yeah.
where it was when Twitch DR2 was 12 stages, I want to say, or 10 or 12 stages, when we didn't have many clubs, and there was an endurance segment to it where there were like the casualty club set up now 4 stages, no services, but a long service at the very end, and so it was like dangling. It dangles a carrot in front of everyone. It's like, look, there are 4 stages, and you're dead. You're dead if you're dead, but if you can survive all the way through, you can probably repair the car to brand new. And Plow took that 100% to heart. His car was screwed. I think like it was 5 stages because there wasn't enough time to repair the car, and the engine was gone, and like 5 stages of you must have been doing like what? How fast were you going? 15 mile an hour, 20 mile an hour?
Maybe 15, yeah.
15?
If that.
Didn't you
was
reverse up
just-
a hill at one point as well?
That was Nishik. Nishik did.
Was
I don't
that
know if
Niz?
Plow did.
Oh God.
It was, yeah, I remember it was just like, well, and that's one of the things that I like about rallies. Like I said, yeah, it's still survival at the end.
Survival.
I may not be as good a driver as you guys, but if I can make it to the end and you don't, I win. You know, and I enjoy that part. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
that original shit run was something to behold,
That was
because I was
amazing.
doing like 28-minute stages.
Yeah.
Like, and they should have been 7 minutes.
Yes. Set an amazing example, and if only there's some sort of video or something about that, it would be amazing to show a little bits about it. I might be able to dig up Hitman's clip where Hitman was doing the impersonation of what your engine sounded like.
And the car was going. That's what it was doing.
That was pretty classic as well. But yeah, so I think we can wrap up there. I might edit some stuff around, move some of those segments
Yeah,
around the
Kind
professional
of went
bit.
a little bit out of order.
Yeah. Or even just let it run, because Plow,
Plow's
amazing guest.
Shit run, shit stream, shit podcast.
Yeah.
Shit podcast.
Excellent
Amazing
flow
guest.
on yeah.
Just
Excellent
the
flow in the
conversation
conversation,
flows so naturally with Plow.
Yep, it does.
So for now, Plow, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time today. Kev, as always, Wolvie, as always,
Absolutely.
and from me, Rain
you,
Dancer,
everybody.
you. This podcast, I mean, if you've listened to it on Spotify or iTunes, there is a video available which I'll recommend, because I'll put in some visual things for your viewing pleasure, I guess. But otherwise, we'll be back with this podcast in another 2 weeks. If you found us somehow and have not joined our Discord, please join in with our community. We're always looking for new people to bring into this madness, and to throw Plow at, to see how they deal. But otherwise, thank you. Farewell.
Thank you,
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you guys. It was
Roll
fun.
on rollers.